13-0 win. You get the series victory as well. Would you say that this was potentially your most complete win of the season, most complete game even?
Played a complete game, yeah, and that's what it looks like, and we faced a really tough pitcher that's probably their ace. The guy who threw yesterday is really good, and this guy's really good. This guy, we just got to him. When the offense did a great job, through 4 1/3 or 4 2/3, whatever he had with 86 pitches, we were able to get his pitch count up, and that helped us working counts deep and getting better pitches to hit, which was really good.
How important was that, getting his pitch count up? He had 49 after 3, 76 headed into the 4th.
Huge. It was the deal breaker. Instead of, and that's part of what Coach Mark has been working on, is just helping educate how to play team baseball instead of just getting at bats in 1 through 9. So credit to the kids and credit to Coach Mark for that. They did a great job today prepping for the game.
What did you see from Jackson Pace, 6 scoreless innings?
Well, him and all the other freshman pitchers, 4 freshmen threw today and threw a shutout. So I was proud of that. That's not easy to do. That's a good hitting team. Those are, you got 2 Cape Cod League All-Stars on that team and a really good hitting club. I think they scored 16 runs at one point this year in one of the games through the first 10 games. And they're a very, very good offensive club, and 4 freshmen did that today, which, credit Coach Angier on his birthday. He gets to celebrate that. Good for him.
Going into this week and after the sweep last week against Santa Barbara, you wanted to see your guys on offense, have more complete innings, less big swings, more put it together and score. Do you think that happened today?
Clearly, yeah, it was a complete game. So, it's hard to have a lot of complaints on what you saw today. It was a tremendous effort and prep work with the assistant coaches, with the guys, and it was a lot of fun to be in the dugout today.
Walsh has been heating up recently. I don't remember, over the last 2 games, he's had a couple of hits. He had two RBI singles today. Just what have you seen from him?
Yeah, and hitting them the other way too. When you're able to hit the ball to the pull side low and hard, or hit like we saw the other day with home run to right center field, and then be able to stay on the ball and hit the ball low and hard the other way for base hits. That's shortening the swing up and still putting explosive swings on balls. He's a really good player. He's going to play in a major league someday if he continues to improve and progress like we think he will, and he's an awesome kid.
So Bios was 2 for 2 today, reached base 5 times. Just how important is that from your 3-hole hitter getting that base?
Yeah, and leadership too, between him and Smith's defense in the outfield, and just the leadership and the long competitive at bats that Riku, can stress on a pitcher. And I just thought it was a really good effort by the guys. Bennett Thompson, he gets out there for start of the weekend and he kills it. So there were a lot of guys that did really, really well today, and it was like I said, it was a great team win.
Colby Shea did quite a day too, 3-run double and then 3-run homer. Good to see him really break out finally.
Yeah, he's a high draft pick that, he's a guy he's playing in his draft year. He's trying to manage the expectations and all that kind of stuff. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, but, baseball is a game of averages. That'll work out. You saw him have a great day today against, a couple of very, very good pitchers. The guy that started and the first guy they brought out of the bullpen, the first guy they brought in out of the bullpen, that guy's a Cape Cod League All-Star, on the mound. And we got to both those guys, which was really good.
How important is it to have a guy like Bennett Thompson, where he's a solid backup catcher but can start for you on any given day and just provides you both offense and defense like he did today?
Well, and I wouldn't say he's a backup catcher. That guy's a frontline guy, and he's just a stud. He's a Southern Oregon kid. He brings a grit and a toughness. The clubhouse and locker room just loves the guy because he's a grinder, he's a worker. He's always going to be one of the last to leave and the first to get there type guy, and he's like a straight A student, and he's just an awesome kid. He's the kind of guy that if you're at a Fortune 500 company after he gets done playing baseball, that's like the first hire. He's that good of a kid, and he's that good of a leader.
How important was it defensively? You guys gave Mark Wasikowski some cheers in the dugout after his correct defensive alignment. Just how important is that to you guys defensively, and how it's a little bit of it's a small, minute detail of baseball, but how important can it be in the long run?
We micromanage that stuff like crazy. We were upset with ourselves as coaches yesterday. We had one situation we felt like we didn't have our players in the right situation or in the right spot on the field that hurt us yesterday, and it luckily didn't cost us a game. But we took it very, very hard, and even though it was a win, we self-reflect and say, what did we do good, what did we do bad? And we thought there was something that got away from us yesterday. We spent a lot more time again just trying to communicate better within our staff and within from coach to player. And Coach Hank's an awesome coach. The guy's unbelievable. And the time that he puts into spray charting and defensive positioning and all that kind of stuff is immense. And so, today was a day we were rewarded for his great effort. Yesterday we caught a couple of breaks too when we were in the right spots with their defensive efforts with positioning as well. And we didn't talk about that a lot yesterday, but I mean, my coaching staff I love, and man, those guys are amazing.
With the freshmen combining for 0 runs, throwing up a 0 today, how great of a birthday gift is that for Coach Angier?
Well, you have to ask Coach Angier. I would think that's pretty fantastic. He's seeing 4 freshmen roll out there and do what they did. They didn't look like freshmen. They commanded the ball. They just did everything that I think that you're looking for, and that's a really good team. That's a really good offensive team, and for those kids to do that shows you the future's bright on the mound here.
That balk call on Pace, was that just him not coming to a complete set?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Pace. I think so. From what I heard, he just kind of rolled through it. He was really focused on the hitter at that point, probably let a little bit of his nervous energy get to him. That might have been the only time that we saw him not have total poise in the entire ball game. That's how good he was.
With Tanner making that diver catch and then hitting a leadoff home run the next inning, were you at all surprised? Because that's seemingly kind of how baseball works sometimes.
Isn't it? It's crazy. There's a spirit in the game, and I've never seen a diving catch to an outfielder's left on a balk call and then a diving catch to the outfielder's right on, the next pitch, I think. And that was amazing. And just Tanner's leadership, he's got records and all that kind of stuff, but just the leadership that he's bringing to the ball club right now, it just continues to improve. And it was an area that he wanted to improve, and he was good at it before, and he's just got a desire to be great at it. And so I'm pulling for him. He's a great kid.
I asked this to Owen and Tanner yesterday, but the last 2 games you guys have gotten guys in scoring position, guys on base who just haven't necessarily come through and driven in some runs. Today you do so. Do you feel like the offense is beginning to turn a corner here?
Well, you would like to think that, sure. And there were some signs of a trend starting to show up. That, to be honest with you, today was the first day we actually, in our prep work at the ballpark, it just was a different energy. It was so much, there was a different energy through our prep work, and to be honest with you, the weather was probably the worst weather we've had in our prep work all year. It was awful to start the day. It ended up being a nice day and all, a little cool, but while we were doing our prep work, the guys just had a blast. It was fun being around them all day long, and I think that just carried over into the game, and we were able to capitalize on a lot of things.
Do you have an idea of why the energy was different?
I would think that probably the leaders in the clubhouse did a great job of getting those guys together and rallying them, and that's a player-led type thing, and that's what they pride themselves in. It's just our job to kind of guide them down that road, and it's just one day. It's one day. We had a good day, and now it's time to kind of settle ourselves and get ourselves back grounded and to where we can come back tomorrow and try to do something special.